What are we going to talk
I have
about?
no idea. You literally came in here and said, this is what we're gonna film today, and I don't even know. Usually we discuss this beforehand, but I'm like, looking at here like, what are we talking about?
Okay, so I was just looking around on YouTube and I saw these videos about living frugally.
Oh, here he goes. Frugally. Don't be frivolous.
There we go. Fraggle Rock was a good show back in the day. I was like, I've been doing this stuff for years. This is a list that I kind of just came up with. These are things that we've done over the years to live frugally.
That's so funny, because I was just thinking about that this morning when I was looking at Insta stories and I saw somebody posting about their Starbucks or something, and I was just like, it's so funny because as much as we like went ham on just spending money, like we had money to spend, that was something that I was always like, we just cannot buy Starbucks, so it's just too expensive. We can make coffee at home, but we were out there like spending all kinds of money on stuff. But there's so many little things that we've done like that, even when we've sucked.
Even when we've sucked. It was like, we would go buy freaking new flat screen TV, but I wasn't gonna wash my towel. But the first one, obviously, if you have missed the train that we've been on, is...
I thought you were about to say if you missed the train wreck. I was like, what's that too?
No, that too, yeah. But downsize your house. That's the first thing. I don't even know how many things there are, so you'll probably see it in the title. But here's a list of ways to live a more frugal life.
You went on and started with the big daddy. Like, look, everybody move out of your house.
Downsize.
You didn't even start with cutting out some little things. You said
live in your car. Yes.
Live in your car. Oh shoot, is this what you're about to tell me, that we're about to move into our cars?
So downsize your house, downsize your living space, obviously for obvious reasons. And to kind of go along with that, turn off the lights. And I always used to give my dad and mom weird looks when they'd be like, well, turn off the light or close the door.
You're heating up the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, are you cooling off the outside?
That has been an issue for us in the summer, because with our screen porch and like the dogs going in and out, we'll just leave it open. And then we'll go into another part of the house and come back. I'm like, good grief. We're still actually terrible about it. And
I've gotten better. I'm like,
well, we're big light people in general. Like even all the time, I just like to have lights on. It makes me feel happier.
You come in and you're like, do you need a light on in here to edit?
All the time. He's sitting in the darkness in the den. I'm like, do you want me to turn this light on? But we'll go to people's houses and they'll have like literally no lights on. Like have people over and have no lights on. I'm like,
I remember in our old neighborhood, we would drive through the neighborhood and I'd be like, is everybody asleep already?
And our house is like,
yeah. But now I'll come in after we've been out or something and I'm like, every light in the house is on. How many times do we sing that when we walk in? Because I'm like, this is ridiculous how much we left the lights on. Kind of to go along with that. Wear more clothing. Wear more or less clothing in the summer, more clothing in the winter. We kind of said that yesterday, like we've been wearing hoodies or even use a heated blanket instead of running your fireplace because it looks cool.
Or instead of turning your heat up, if it's like, you know, you're a little bit cold, don't turn the heat to heat up the whole house if you're just gonna be sitting on the couch or sitting at your, you know, island working or whatever. That's always been something that surprised me, is the people that in the winter will be running around in their houses with like tank tops on and stuff. And I'm like, but why? Just put on a sweatshirt. And then I've always been a big fan of that.
Well, and I've been a big proponent of like keeping it like, it's always been a joke when our friends used to come over to our house. It'd be like 64 in the house in the summer because I just love it cold. Like I freaking love sleeping with the cold weather on. We
talk about that and I'm like, in the summer though, we're really bad because we will keep it, I mean, we keep it cold.
But when God slaps you in the face and was like, your AC's broke, we went for like a whole 2 weeks, month or something like that.
A month, maybe 2 weeks.
With no AC.
In the middle of summer.
In the middle of Alabama heat, and it got up to like 78, and it makes you humble and realize like
it's fine, we can handle it.
I'm good with just like a fan and it being 78. Why do I have to have it on 62? And you know, so granted, we're still working on a lot of these things on this list, but these are just things that we've done here and there. I'm sure a lot of y'all have too.
Yeah, these are kind of the obvious ones, but I see some that are like, oh,
yeah. Something that we've kind of done just because of the showings and stuff is unplugging the Keurig, and something that your parents do before they leave the beach house for a long extended period of time is unplug the stuff you're not using. No, like the microwave you can't really get to, but if you could, maybe unplug that if you're not going to use it for an extended period of time.
I've seen somebody talking about unplugging your phone chargers. Do they actually run?
There's a thing called like phantom electricity and stuff.
Really?
And it like literally drains energy out of your electrical outlets, I've heard.
I don't know, I'm just interested to know, does this actually still keep, it's charging right now, but we just leave them plugged in all the time. Is that a bad thing? And we leave like our camera chargers plugged in all the time?
Yeah, there's a lot of things things. The fish tank's constantly running. There's times when we'll let the kids watch the iPads on the weekend. They'll leave it on the bed for 2 hours straight, plugged in, and it's still just blasting blippy. And I'm like, oh my God. During the morning, the kids will come down. The white noise machines will be blasting all day long.
And see, that's just something I've never really thought about, is like draining the power bill. I'm just like, that's annoying to hear that sound, but I've never thought of it as that it's actually using power.
I'm like, that thing's gonna die soon, and then the fact that it's using power, yeah.
There's so many things that are plugged in. Dang, let's unplug out all of it.
Yes.
What else can we unplug?
I know, I'm gonna go start unplugging the refrigerator and stuff. Get you a bag of ice and a cooler. Save all your change. I used to have a old like glass jar growing up that it turned into like a game. I wanted to get it full. Because when you see it, it's like the more you can see it, the more you can see it build. Oh my God, I remember going, this was before they had those Coinstar things where you could dump it in.
Oh yeah, you'd have to roll them.
You'd have to roll.
Go to the bank and get the little rolls and stuff them in there.
I remember, I said, I'm not gonna touch any of this. And I got one of those like skinny neck bottles to where I couldn't dig my hand down into it.
That came into our marriage. And then didn't we drop it moving and it broke?
It broke.
Was it moving into this house?
I had to get a glove on and dig all the pennies out with glass shards.
Because I was like, here or the old house?
It was at the old house, in between Tallahassee and the old house, I believe.
Then we went for like 2 years without using cash hardly at all, and so we would have very minimal change here and there. It was always surprising though, when you'd go look in the drawer and find like $10 in quarters.
Yeah, it's been great, especially having little kids that are like loving gumball machines on Mexican date night and stuff, and having like a little change area that you can go check, especially in your car console. The other day you paid $4 in change for some oranges or something.
I sure did.
So save your change.
Me. Yep.
Recycle things around the house and use them for other things. Like we use the plastic bags for cat litter. Just last night, I didn't want to like dirty up another spoon for Brooks's ice cream, so I just washed his fork off that he used for dinner, and I was like, you good to eat this ice cream with your fork? He didn't care.
And I think people do that kind of stuff a lot, and I think that that's the stuff that we haven't been good at. We're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And that's where the whole like minimalist thing comes in, that it becomes overwhelming when you have so much stuff. And when you have 17 kid forks like we do in our drawer, then you end up with a pile of dishes in your sink because you can just go grab another one. And I know lately I've been real bad about, I'll grab like 3 different knives as I'm making one sandwich because I'll keep forgetting where I'm putting the other one down or something.
You even used the top of the Tupperware the other day to heat up some green beans instead of getting a paper plate out. That leads into 2 of those things we just said lead into 2 more points. Look into Marie Kondo, because she will change your whole perspective on life.
You're making me want to go sell all of our kitchen utensils right now.
No, that's another point.
I'm looking around going,
that's another point. That's another point we're gonna get into in a minute. But Marie Kondo and minimalism, and apparently there's a good documentary on Netflix. But you've been listening to
Which one? There's a new one?
Called Minimalism. Yeah. So listen to the podcast. There's a minimalist podcast and YouTube videos that you've watched. But that'll completely change. Oh
yeah, you can find all kinds of minimalist videos on, like, depending on your current situation, like with a family, with kids, as a single person, as a married person, as a like college student. There's all kinds of cool information on YouTube out there.
Another point somewhere in my list here is sell, and like in one of the videos we posted recently, Facebook Market, sell anything you're not using on a regular basis.
I'm ready to get rid of some of those ugly coffee mugs that match our dishes that have been ugly since we got married.
We haven't even used them. Like,
we used them a couple times, but
yeah. So sell everything that you're not using. One, it'll declutter, make money. People can pick it up. You don't have to move it if you have to move.
Like, you don't need this hat and you've worn it, so certainly somebody wants to get your sweaty, greasy hair in their head. So like, how much would y'all pay for this hat?
Things that you don't
How much would y'all pay for?
But I do have like 20 more hats back there that I never wear. I just have them because I might wear them one day. Save for your emergency fund. We've been doing that. We've done that for, you've kept that up for years.
It should have stayed a lot bigger, like the whole Dave Ramsey 3 to 6 months. It's not been that for a while. It's definitely been at least $1,000 for a while. So
same for your emergency fund. Live below your means. It kind of goes without saying, like the off-brand stuff. Like how much did we like? It just once we like got to the point of like, what are we doing? We're we've said this before, $3 on a loaf of bread versus $1 for the off-brand stuff is just as good.
Well, and there are some things I will say that I'm like, the off-brand of that is not good. There's a couple things. There's very few though. I will say very few.
There's a lot of trial and error stuff from the Dollar Tree that you gotta test before
you gotta test
realize.
it. And then you're like, okay, no, I'm only gonna go with this brand name. But it's one of those things that when we started making more money, I was just like, well, what's it matter if I spend an extra 50 cents? But on everything, it ends up adding up. And it's just like, why would you ever even buy the name brand?
Right. I don't know. And I get a lot of this from my parents, I think, too, because my dad used to like make things work in the pantry, and he would get the noodles, he would get a thing of cream or milk, or make his own like Alfredo, and then throw it. He's like, I got some tuna. I got a little bit of bacon, tuna, bacon, and then he throws some sweet peas in there. Oh my God, it was the best, like, cheap.
You want me to make that for dinner?
Yes.
I think we have tuna,
all the time.
and we have cream cheese, and we don't have cream mushroom soup.
The other night, we had some baked beans in there, and we had some hot dogs, and so I just made some beanie weenie. And I can even insert a picture from yesterday where I had a hot dog and a hamburger bun, and put the two together with some ramen.
Yep.
So just make it work.
We've come up with all kinds of interesting meals lately.
Stay home and find free fun around your area or house, creative things to do at home. Lots of Instagram accounts and things on YouTube. The Busy Toddler on Instagram.
Yeah, she has lots of great activities.
You saw one with vinegar and food coloring the other day.
Yeah, it was so easy.
And
like you just put a little baking soda in the bottom of you can get, if you don't have an ice cube tray, because a lot of people don't, but go to the Dollar Tree and they sell like a pack of 3 ice cube trays in one. You get you a little bit of baking soda. No, you get a drop of food coloring, put it in each one, put a scoop of baking soda on top, and then they squirt vinegar in there, and then it reveals the color.
There's been a lot of that recently that we've done that we haven't necessarily vlogged. Just fun things to do around the house.
Like random stuff like that, or like taping some painter's tape to the floor.
Sticky notes to the wall, and then have them like try to whip them off with a sticky hand.
I feel like we used to feel obligated to like go somewhere or do something or whatever, and it's actually been better for us as a family the more we've had to not do things that require money, because then once you're there, you have this pressure that it has to be like just right, and everyone needs to behave right, and then it's just because you spent money on it and you can't just leave. But you go somewhere free and everybody starts breaking down, you're like, okay, we're out. Didn't lose any money.
Even if you have to go outside, and just like the other day, everything went downhill when I came out there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Oh Lord.
You have to use your imagination. It's good for your kids instead of turning to the iPad and using that electricity up.
Yeah, that too. I heard somebody say that one of the pieces of advice they were given when they had a kid, and I was like, this is the best advice, I'm gonna give it to anybody, is when you're like losing your mind, your kids are losing their mind, they're having a meltdown, whatever, put them in water or take them outside. And I don't mean drown them.
Take your foot off their head.
Yeah.
Or take them outside.
Don't drown them. But like seriously, you can think of that as like giving them a bath, or if it's the summer and you have like an outdoor baby pool or whatever, something about water and something about outside, even when they're infants and they just like look around. I remember with Brooks when he was like a month or 2 old, and just walking outside with him would just help calm him.
Literally all you had to do is walk outside.
Yeah.
And point to a tree,
and
or
he's
point
like,
to some rocks.
We're good.
You could go outside with a rock and Brooks for 20 minutes.
We've done baths in the middle of the day, in the mornings. We've done them with Legos in them, with popsicles in them,
tablet,
all kinds of stuff. So yeah, water and outside are free. Well, water's pretty free.
They just got out of the shower and just started walking.
Oh, they're gonna go to sleep out there.
Oh, how cute. Y'all sleep good. There's also the library. We've utilized that a couple times in the past. I forget about that one.
I forget about it too.
I should think about that
Brooks
one more.
Is just a little loud for that.
And then growing up, something we used to do, there used to be like free pops in the park, or free symphony movie in the movies in the park. We would get a picnic, go sit out there. And it would be just a good family bonding experience, 1, and 2, it was free. Like,
I've been surprised, like this summer when we were trying to cut costs and not spend money and stuff, when you search free things, even like when we went down to the beach, we're usually always trying to, just, let's just go to dinner. Well, we search and there's like a whole page full of all the free things to do in the summer, like every single night. And so,
I was really impressed when you found all that stuff. I was like, what?
There's definitely more free things than you probably realize to do.
Granted, it's kind of like a enticing lure to get you to get in there.
Yeah,
so
you
then
get there and then there's
vendors
food
and free,
yeah.
I mean, and you know, local people trying to sell you stuff. But what did we do? When we went to that free movie that night where we watched Ratatouille or something, we made Totino's $1 pizzas, sliced them up, put them in tinfoil.
It was an outdoor movie.
It was an outdoor movie. You go out there and sit out there, and rolled our little cooler up in there. Had our
Totinos. We had the kids like some
dip,
mac and
some
cheese.
chips.
Yeah.
And everybody else was getting like plates of like $20
so
stuff.
good.
Oh my God, those loaded nachos.
So good.
They were getting all those loaded nachos and beer and everything just delivered to them at their table and stuff. And we're sitting there like, I hope this is okay. I don't know if we're supposed to do this, but it said free movie and we brought our free food with us.
But we were just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, the more you appreciate the fact of that you're not going there just for the food or, you know, spend money, you're going there for the experience and the time together, then you appreciate the movie and the time together even more.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
like,
it really was.
Yeah.
I saw a good suggestion the other day that was like, you know those white boxes you get that are plastic, the big ones, and some people use them to like store crayons or whatever. You get that sucker and you put your sandwiches and all that in there for places you're not supposed to take food.
It's my baby wipes.
And it's your baby wipes. They're not gonna look in there.
That's
and then
true.
you sneak your food in that way.
True.
Sneak your candy in the movies.
We snuck just about every meal that we could into the country club pool this past year. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that out loud, but sorry. We don't have a membership there anymore. I think it was kind of a common thing.
No, I don't know that it is common. I don't think most people do that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think most people do that because they're like, well, what's a few dollars? I don't know. I know that people always like would laugh at us when we would go to parties at conventions.
That's another one of my points.
Talking about bringing your own alcohol.
Bring your own alcohol to events.
Because you go to like, okay, so we would go to a convention, you know, a YouTube convention or something, and there's like these parties that you can go to and like, oh, you can get in for free. Well, then you pay for like a little tiny cocktail that's this big and you pay like $10. So we're like, no, let's get us a water bottle and take it in ourselves. And then you get, like usually at a bar, they're gonna give you maybe a Coke for free or something because most people are buying alcohol. So a Coke is like nothing on top of anything. Or you can just pay $1 for a Coke versus $10 for a mixed drink. And it's not necessarily, I mean, it's not even necessarily, not at all to like hide your alcohol or whatever else. It's to save freaking money.
Save freaking money.
And then, I mean, we've done that so many times. Since day one.
Like back in Tallahassee days. I was like, I am not gonna spend $12 on a single drink when I can go to the ABC store and get a whole thing that I can have for later too.
Just pour it in a little water bottle or something and take it in your bag, and then you get you a Sprite, drink a little off the top of Sprite, go in the corner in the bathroom, pour it in there, mix it up, and you're good.
The bartender would be like, you want another Coke? And I'm like, yes sir, please. Another Coke, they're so good.
I'm so tired actually coming. I feel like we've mostly done that even when we were spending money like we were stupid, because it's the hardest thing to justify spending money on alcohol when you buy it for so cheap and sneak it in.
I remember being on that cruise that we were on, and like you're stuck on the cruise and you can't bring alcohol on the cruise. You're not allowed to, and they check your bags and all that stuff. And they trap you on this boat in the middle of nowhere and you can't do anything. And I was just like, why am I about to spend money on this? So one, cut out the amount of alcohol you drink if you do drink a lot of alcohol, so you don't spend so much money. Or if you smoke cigarettes or something like that. I know it's easier said than done. That kind of thing. And then cheaper alcohol. We used to get like the Grey Goose of alcohol every single time we got it.
And why? I guess just because we were like, oh, well, this
keeping up with the Joneses, and it looks good when you have people over.
Well, and you said it like doesn't upset your stomach or whatever else.
Well, no, when you don't get a top shelf margarita, then you're gonna be sitting on the toilet the next day.
But then just don't drink a margarita if it's really that big of a deal. When we were first married and we had like our fun envelope so we could go on date night, and we would go to Mexican night, and we had it so well budgeted that we planned it so we always went during happy hour, and you could get their margaritas for half price. It was like $3 or something for a little margarita, and then we would get the a la carte taco, so those were like $2. The chips are free, the salsa's free. We wouldn't even splurge on the $2 of queso dip because that would up the budget. Like $15, then you had a tip, it was $20. So we had a whole date night at Mexican night where we got our little taste of some tacos, eat some more chips, I'll fill you up, and then a little half price happy hour margarita.
Practicing zero food waste, and I'm bad about this. I will load the kids up with a plate of food when we're at home.
I remember the first time Madeline and Bennett came over and he made like 7 hamburgers, and they were like 2 and 4, and I was like, Who's gonna eat all these hamburgers?
Even still, though, there's days where Katie comes in and she's like, probably need to cut that in half. Now I'm like, God, this is such a waste of food when I can just reuse it tomorrow.
We could eat it, but with the flu and stuff going around, I'm not about to touch anything that's been on their plate.
Well, as far as that goes, but even just like I shouldn't have even put that much on their plate to begin with. It's always, and my mom used to always say this, eat what you have first, and then I'll give you more. Then by the time they eat what they have on their plate, they're not even hungry anymore.
Well,
their eyes are bigger than their stomach.
I'm huge on leftovers, and you've always like not so much. Oh, that reminds me, I got spaghetti I can eat for lunch. Yes, I will literally save right now. I can go get it. I've got pasta.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
My little gluten-free noodles from last night. I got like this much of them, and Cullen's like, I'm just gonna throw these away, and I'm like, no, because I'll mix that with extra spaghetti sauce, and that's a meal. Like, I'm not looking to eat a whole bowl of pasta.
You left the damn Instant Pot with just the sauce like remnants in the thing on the counter yesterday.
It was the smallest amount of sauce. But if you got a spoon and scraped around the inside, I was like, I'm gonna put that on top of like my chicken or whatever we were having for dinner.
It kind of also goes along with the one thing, I've always thought about this. If somebody tells you what's one thing that you would have told a new parent that you didn't know, the amount of food that's left over on a child's plate when you do go out to eat. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's such a waste.
There's just no need to
don't
get the food.
Don't get a kid's plate for $6.99. One, don't get one for each kid. They'll share one quesadilla or one plate. Let them pick off of your plate, and then again, if they're still hungry.
Oh, and the fact that you go and they have on their menu macaroni and cheese, and so you're thinking, oh, this will be nice, like some special mac and cheese, and they bring it out and it's literally boxed macaroni and cheese, and they're gonna charge you $4 for the little bowl of it. Some people's kids eat more than ours do. Ours just don't really eat a lot. And I've never done, like, I saw it on here, and I think this is relevant, I think, like the Happy Meals. I'm like, can I just get chicken nuggets, and then they can have a few of my fries. Our kids didn't even know what a Happy Meal
the kid in me, I'm like, get them a Happy Meal.
They didn't know what a Happy Meal was.
Best days of my life. Cut your own hair. We've talked about this before. You just trimmed up Brooks's hair yesterday. You trimmed up mine before, and I've trimmed up yours. I've recently went and got a haircut with the gift card, and
we have a gift card, but I haven't been to the hair salon since April of last year. It's coming up on a year. Do you realize? I haven't been.
Crazy.
And I used to go like every 8 weeks. Just gonna kind of halfway there to growing it out and getting the color.
And I'm liking it this color. Like, I used to say, get it the blondest you can, because, you know, that's what I was like back in the day.
I started like realizing I think I might like it darker, and I was like, just see what happens. Became confident in my own self, and then it didn't matter what you thought about my hair.
There you go. You do you, boo. Kind of going with what we've been talking about on this whole series and this whole journey is stick to your budget.
And like, just because you have it budgeted, don't spend it all.
Right.
You know, like if you can have money left over after you've budgeted $100 for groceries or something, then that's great. Use
digital coupons. This is something that you've taught me, and you get still mad at me about until this day when I don't do that, because you're like, I used to go to like Bath and Body Works and Bed Bath & Beyond. You're like, I got a whole thing of 20% off coupons in my car, and I'm like, well, it's just easier for me to just go do it and spend the money, you know? And now I'm like, there's been times where I like am proud when I order something online, and I will spend another 5 minutes doing retail me not searches, try to get 10% off of the shipping or free shipping. Or,
well, and there's so many times that I've just searched and found it, found a coupon. I'm like, it literally took $20 off of my order or whatever, and if I hadn't have even searched and just ordered it, it would have just gone on through. Now, I will say that I did used to do couponing, like official couponing. We've talked about that before, like grocery store couponing. I feel like if you're gonna use the like 50 cents on this, $1 on this, if you're gonna use those, you kind of have to have a method to it, and it's not quite as beneficial as like the Bath and Body Works 20% off of your whole order or whatever.
And since doing this series, I've seen people recommend like checking Facebook Market for these bundles of detergent and toilet paper and stuff like that from these people that are getting it all for free doing couponing.
And then they're just reselling it.
Speaking of those bundles, I've even tweeted this one day. I was like, I literally could go through a whole roll of paper towels in a day. Dry my hands off with them. I would wipe up the counter with them. I would just get them out to heat something up in the microwave. Recently, I think we've had that one roll in there for the past like whole month, because it's like, you've got dish rag.
When we were like,
this is a paper towel. It's so precious now.
Use it for everything you can. But when we were over the summer, like literally had a time when we weren't able to pay ourselves for a minute, and we ran out down to paper towels, and I was like, I just can't justify spending money on more paper towels. And it was doable. Like, I mean, you do end up washing more laundry, but since putting our house on the market, we've like totally cleared off counters and stuff, and we put the paper towel roll under the sink.
That's been correct.
And so it's actually been helpful, because if you don't see it, you're more likely to grab a towel instead of having to reach up under and get a paper towel, which my mom does this too. I always am like, Mom, where's the dang paper towel?
We used to do them like right by the sink. It'd be like, wash your hands.
And you pull a bunch of them off or whatever. So now
and
it's
they got
like
the little half squares now and stuff. So that would help save on those a little bit. But then they're like $10 more or whatever.
That makes you think twice about it when you have to like reach down, open a cabinet and get one. So
I also have tweeted this. Being on a budget and going to a hotel having common is one sheet or something like that, because
the only difference
because we've been using one ply toilet paper since with all of this.
And honestly, I don't mind it.
I haven't missed it.
I mean, now I will say that first one that you bought, that stuff is still up in Brooks's room, and every time I have to like help him wipe his butt, I'm like, I'm sorry, this is gonna hurt a little bit, because Jane's goes
like sandpaper.
The first time she used it, she goes, Mommy, why is this toilet paper dried out? Like, it was literally like cardboard-esque.
Yeah.
Your butt's gonna be all right.
Your butt's gonna be good, and your hands will dry with a towel or just shake them. Something that you do really well, leave the conditioner bottle upside down in the shower for like 3 weeks at a time, because you were like, no conditioner left behind. You like get every drop out.
I talked about this on my stories one time about how like with moisturizer and stuff that's in those squeeze bottles, cutting off the top and then dig your finger down in there, it'll give you another week of, but that's one thing that has always been a little pet peeve, and I know we've talked about it, because Cullen will go, there's like this much left, and so it's like, oh, we need more, okay. So he goes and buys it, and then now you got 2 in the shower, and he starts using the new one.
And I start using the new one and leave the old one in there, because I'm like, well, she'll clean that one out.
And so the things that I don't use, that only you use, like your deodorants and stuff, I think you have like 10 almost used up things of deodorant.
And I'll always pick up the wrong one. I'll always pick up the one that's almost out.
Then throw it away.
And I'm like, but I'll use that when like we're really, really, really poor living out of our car, so I'll save it. Same with toothpaste. Like Gaines came to us last night. She does every night. She's like, can you get the rest of this out for me? Because it's like almost
I'm like,
gone.
hang on, I'm pushing it down on the counter. Let me get the last little bit out of it.
Yeah, and like, it's not in the budget this month. So get the last drop out of everything that you can. Get creative when you're eating at home, or when you're like about to go to gymnastics with the kids. You always are packing snacks. I just cleaned out a snack bag last night. If they don't eat them all, we have a whole thing in the pantry in there, like half Ziploc bagged of goldfish that we just go and grab for the next time.
And something I learned from Jordan Page was the rule of, we don't honestly buy too many like prepackaged stuff, but like say chips or like the little graham crackers or Teddy Grahams that come in a package. Her rule is you don't eat anything in the house that's in a package, because those end up being way more expensive. And so those are like to go to school or to take, but we honestly still just put it all in a plastic bag.
I remember though, like last year when we were like completely oblivious to everything, we would get those like little single Pringle chip things, and they would just be around sitting here just eating them. Like now I'm looking at it, I'm like, good Lord, that was such a waste of money. Non-cheap ways to exercise.
I'm a big fan of that.
I went and got a gym membership, and then we also were paying for a gym here at this neighborhood, and I didn't even realize, like, it was just like, why do I have a $200 a month gym membership and this? Why can't I just go run around the neighborhood or go throw a kid in the air?
Never been able to justify, personally for me, like the gym membership fee. I mean, I know some people are super duper gym people.
If you're a member of a church, they usually have a free gym there, and I've taken advantage of that, because something about me versus you is like, you can do the stuff at home in the basement or in the den, but I do better when I have like the treadmill and I have the visualization of everybody else getting their sweat on, and I'm like, let's go. Kind of what I mentioned at the beginning of this is something that I've done, I guess because again my dad's done it all the time. I will reuse the same towel after I get out of the shower for like a week straight, because when you get out of the shower you're clean. All it is water that you're wiping off.
I would love to hear comments on people.
So just hang that ish up and use it again. There's no sense in throwing a clean towel that just got wet a little bit in the washing machine and thus increasing your laundry and your laundry bill and your laundry and your water. And
this was so interesting to me when we got married, because in my family, I grew up with a one-use towel policy. Like we used it one time, and then you put it in the wash, and then it would get washed. And my mom has always been like really big on that. She's like, but you're still like wiping in your butt crack and like wiping off dead skin cells and that kind of stuff. But once we got married and I saw you doing it, and then I'm like, I'm the one responsible for doing all this laundry. So I go like a week using my towel too. It's like once it starts to kind of smell a little funny, then you wash it.
That's right.
Because I feel like people are, you can tell where you wiped your butt.
You know which end is which.
Ew,
Yeah, you keep it away from that. You know, you're like, this is the top is my face and the bottom's my legs and everything else. And then you just hang it up.
But I feel like people are very polar on this.
Yeah.
They're either like, don't wash it for a week, or they're like, wash it every time. And I feel like most people probably have a strong opinion about it. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion. Leave us a comment.
Kind of going along with that is like rewear the same jeans that you know.
Oh yeah, I wear those.
I think that's a common thing.
They smell too.
I knew this past weekend or last weekend getting ready for the open house, I was gonna be out in the yard, and so I literally took off my clothes that I wore that day. It wasn't hot and sweaty outside at all. It was gorgeous. Put those same jeans and that same shirt back on the next day, because it was like, why put on another,
Well, in pajamas, I'll wear like the same pajama pants or like a pajama shirt or whatever. I'll wear that multiple times, because I mean, you're only in it overnight, and now there's nights when I'll like sweat or get hot or whatever, and I'll take it off. I mean, I'll wash it.
And last thing that I can think of, I'm sure there's like 1,000 more that we do throughout the day, but cutting the cord is like something we've recently done, as far as getting rid of our cable package where you pay for 1,000 channels and only watch 10. And they have like YouTube TV and Hulu and Prime and all that stuff now. So, and we only watch like Netflix and.
We ended up saving $3,000 a year just by calling and saying, hey, what's the better rate that I can get on this? I might switch to somebody else, and got all of our cell phones and our cable and our health insurance all cut down. There's definitely ways to save and cut corners, even if you already think you're cutting them all.
It's so weird because I'm living in this like life in this house and stuff, but deep down I'm still just like a thrift store shopping little boy. Like I love just like getting out there and whittling my own stick to go kill my food. Like
I just remember thinking that multiple times, being like, we're gonna wish we hadn't done this, but I can't even right now. I don't even know. So that's how we got where we are.
There you go. There's our frugal tips and ways to stay frugal while you're going through your debt journey. And these are, again, things we're still constantly every day working on and stuff like that. So
leave us your suggestions of other things that y'all do. I know y'all make all your almond butter and your laundry soap and all that, and that's wonderful. Maybe I'll get there one day, but I know that's something a lot of people do too.
Yes,
so leave us comments on other things that y'all do to save money.
Make your own Valentine's Day cards. That does it for today's video. We will see y'all tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully so.
The good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see you then.
If it does, I'll build a boat out of cardboard and duct tape, and we'll be good to go.
And then you will sink, because cardboard is not waterproof.
See you on TV. Bye.